Hey guys. Hey, hey, hey. We are back. We are back. We are back. It looks like we are streaming on all cylinders. So for those of you who are punctual, come in the room, come in the room, come in the room. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. It's a new year. It's 2024. Wow, it's crazy to think about it. It's 2024, y'all. For those who are coming in, please, please, please share this live to everybody and anybody. It's going to be amazing. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay. We're going to get started right at the top of the hour. Okay. All right. Let me share. Okay. Let me share. Oh, all right. Let me change my settings on here to public. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's see. Okay, we're all good. Hey, Monique, do you have the ability to share on your page, on your live stream?
Share on my live screen for my Facebook page.
Yeah, just like share it to your feed. Do you have the ability to do that?
Let's see. Yes.
Okay, because mine is acting funky.
So when I click on the live though from Facebook, I can't see my face. Can you see my face when I can hear myself? I just heard myself, but I don't see my face.
What is going on? I'm bugging. What's going on? My live was just here. Y'all bear with us, guys. It's a new year. It's a new year, and we're starting new things. Okay, there we go. Yes, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So make sure that you share, share, share to all of your groups, to all of your people that want to hear about money, people that want to hear about life, people that want to hear about taxes and everything in between. Make sure you are sharing, sharing, and sharing, okay? All right, so I said we're going to get started at the top of the hour. It is 7 p.m. And Happy New Year, guys. Let me get that out the way. Happy New Year. My name is Jen.
And I'm Monique.
Hey, and we
We
are
are
Gem
Gem to
Come
Monday.
Yes, come on with it. Come on with it. There's no leg. Okay. I'm
It
sorry.
is not a leg. It is not a leg.
We
One
are too
clap, two
excited.
claps for no legs.
Oh my gosh. Like for those who have been following us since episode one, y'all know what we talking about. We have finally found a platform where there is no lag because we're in two different places trying to stream and talk to each other at the same time. Thank God
Exactly.
for a plan and for it working out. My goodness gracious.
We
So,
not gonna talk too soon though. We just gonna roll with it, but it's
okay,
so far so good.
okay, you are definitely the even keel um gem. I'm the impulsive one. So for those of you, if this is your first time viewing, we are Gems to Money. We are just two moms. We are just two financial professionals that decided to come on and educate the masses about money, about taxes, about life, and
Mm.
everything in between. And so, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This is an interactive show. So if you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you just want to say, hey, I'm on here, let us know, put it in the chat. I don't know whether you're watching on YouTube or our Facebook pages. Definitely show some love, get some likes, get some hearts. Definitely let us know that you're here because we don't know unless you interact with us, right? So
Yep, absolutely.
so happy New Year, Monique.
Yes, Happy New Year. We're back. We're back. We're back. It seemed like it's been so long since we've been on here, but we definitely needed to take a break and recoup and regroup and get our minds right for the next 50 plus episodes that we will be doing for the rest of the year.
Absolutely. And let us not, we can't do this show without paying homage to what today, the actual day, actually means. It being Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, honoring the man, honoring the revolutionist, honoring just the path that he made for us in a, invoking nonviolence and invoking peace. What does MLK Jr. Day mean to you when it comes up, Monique? Is there anything, that you do in particular, or tell me about it a little bit?
Nothing in particularly that I do. I definitely didn't have much strength or much energy to do a lot today, just for other reasons. But definitely everything that you just said brings back that thought of him and how great he was and what he stood for. You know what I mean? It's like, how can we not, think about him or honor him or even remember him? I mean, it's just so many great things that he has done for us. And if you read about it and educate yourself, you'll be like, wow, like, for the people, the younger generation that just really don't know as much. And it's just amazing. It just really is amazing. So not anything in particular, but just, um pondering in the moment, on this day, like, just remembering all the great things that he has done for us.
Absolutely. And also just when I think about him, yeah, I didn't have anything in particular. And then with the, inclement weather, we're based out of Maryland. And if I'm not mistaken, in kind of like the Northeast, we're dealing with some inclement weather and some snow. So there wasn't anything that I particularly did outdoors. But just thinking about being the change that you want to see, he definitely Martin Luther King Jr. he became the change that he wanted to see. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to see it. But just invoking that and kind of everything we do. and our servitude and how we raise our kids and how we present ourselves in society. That's pretty much what I think about in terms of honoring this day. And so, in addition to it being MLK Junior Day, this is also, Founders Day for AKA sorority. My sister
Okay,
is an
AKA.
AKA. So she would have my head if I did not make that proclamation publicly on live stream, being as though we are live streaming today. So happy
Hmm.
Founders Day to the AKAs. Monique, did you have you, let's see, let me think. Because I'm thinking about, like the sororities, the sisterhood, and all of that. Did you have any experience about that, like at all? Like, did you go to like tell me what you think about that?
I have never went to a university, so I've never had that exposure of that or had an opportunity to be in a sorority. I really think it's a really, really dope thing, of what a sorority stands for and what they do, but I haven't been exposed, so I never had that opportunity to, be a part of it. But it's crazy because I recently seen some videos on TikTok and it's just like them strutting in and just the togetherness and like you said, the sisterhood. It's crazy. Like I wish I had an opportunity to be a part of something like that, but unfortunately I did not.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I had the opportunity, and I still do have the opportunity. Because I agree with you, Monique, like the sisterhood and the coming together and the servitude as well and the community service that all of them stand for, is very, very much enticing and intriguing to be a part of. It just, I just didn't do it. I don't have anything to say about it. I just didn't do it. I wish I had. I wish I had, because it's powerful to know
It is.
that you
It is.
have a sister, maybe not by blood, that you can count on and depend on for the rest of your life. So it's pretty dope. So that's what's
That's
up. So the holidays are gone. Holidays are over. What did you do for the holidays, Monique?
funny enough, New Year's I stayed and I was actually home alone. Like home alone. Like my oldest daughter was with her boyfriend. My youngest daughter was over her girlfriend's house. And I was just in here all by myself. Watching Law and Order, y'all. If y'all Law and Order fans, I'm a Law and Order fan too, SVU. And I was definitely in here, had a little drink, watching TV and eating my black eyed peas, my fish, and just doing me. I was perfectly fine. So I didn't even do anything for New Year's. I'm really not a party on New Year's anyway. So like if someone would have had something at their house, I would have went. But to like be out in the streets, I wouldn't have done that anyway. I am going to make it my business to go to New York though. Like I never actually been in the environment to see the ball drop, and I just want to experience that. So I'm putting that on my to-do list for the New Year's coming in. But what before that, what was Christmas? Definitely spent time with the family. Like I love that holiday. That's like my favorite holiday. Played some games and went to go see my grandmother and chit chat, the usual stuff. But that was kind of the sum of my holiday, really. I'm getting old. I guess I'm getting a little boring.
Girl, you're getting older and wiser. And let me tell you, as a avid homebody myself, there is nothing wrong with sitting in the house and like watching a good movie or eating a good meal and just being with yourself. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay. But my holidays, surprisingly, I was out. I was outdoors a lot. But definitely had a great time spending time with my family. My sister and my niece were in town, so
That's
definitely
good.
spending time with them. You know, the kids are teenagering, so they were here and then they weren't, and then who knows where they were. But I definitely had a good time. We started celebrating Kwanzaa. So my sister did an amazing job with kind of like bringing the family together and really researching it and understanding what it means, what it is, and how to celebrate it. And so
Okay.
we did that. And so we did
That's
that as
different.
well. So that was pretty cool. So I had a fairly good holiday vacation. You know,
That's good.
I'm glad it's glad it's over and it's time to get to business, you
Yes,
know,
for
to get
sure.
to the business of it all. So I'm glad it's 2024. So check it, y'all. All right, this it's about to go down. All right, it's definitely about to go down. So when me and Mo, when we sit down and when we brainstorm about things that we want to talk about, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's what they say. And with money, you can slice it a few different ways, but it's very slim how many different ways you could talk about it. But we still want to bring it to the forefront and help educate you on the different things dealing with money that people may not think about. So we were thinking, you know, we're both single, unmarried, and we see a lot on, I know I see a lot on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook about females, certain, like there was this video that came out on TikTok where the girl was like, don't take me on this list of restaurants as a first date. If you take me on this list of restaurants, I won't go because I mean,
I
go ahead.
actually sent you the video, Jen, with the girl with the Cheesecake Factory thing. I don't know if you on TikTok.
Oh, you sent it to me on TikTok. Let me see. Let me see
Like
if I
she
can,
really stayed in the car and wouldn't get out the car. Like it was crazy. It was insane.
let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Keep talking a little bit about the video.
Yeah, she was just like, "Oh, we're at the Cheesecake Factory." And he was knocking on the window like, "Are you going to get out?" She like, "Oh, one moment. I'm recording like Cheesecake Factory." I couldn't even watch it all, Jim, because I was just like, "No way." Like I look at it like, long as I'm eating, we can go wherever. It don't matter. Like we're just dating. It's not we're not. I mean, even if we were in a relationship, all of them little small dates mean something, you know. It and in different situations or when you're out dating the person that you can potentially become in a relationship with or the person that you're in a relationship with, every encounter is different depending on where you go at, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So like a date could be going to the park, right? And we getting snacks and cold cuts and, sitting in the park and with blankets. It's still a date. We're still eating. We're still in the presence of each other. So why does it matter exactly, what we're eating? You know what I mean? Like he didn't take you to McDonald's. Like I could literally see if you was like, oh, he took me to McDonald's, he took me to Burger King, he took me to Taco Bell, then like, yeah, maybe that's just below the belt. But he decided to take you out to a restaurant to get some. I like Cheesecake Factory. What about you, Jen? I mean, I do. I like Cheesecake
I
Factory.
like Cheesecake Factory too. I mean, me personally, I think it's kind of expensive, but I mean, girl, I'm trying to find this video so bad. I don't know if we're gonna be able to play it because I don't know if I can find it fast enough. But oh my gosh, I so let me just back up because just transparent moment. I have not been on a date in a very long time.
Mm.
So I was married, and that chapter ended and around maybe like 2015, 2016. And I have not been on a date. I mean, I had a relationship. That's what it was. I have relationships. I don't
Mm.
date. And so I don't even know what dating looks like enough to say, oh, I agree or disagree. I know that if I'm in a relationship with somebody and we going out to get a bite to eat, like, am I caring about where you take me? If we're in a relationship because I already know a little bit about you, I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know if I can give a justified opinion. I don't know.
I kind of have to agree. It's kind of a torn mixed emotion because it's like when we think of dating, like in relationships, it's dating relationships obviously different, right? But I also feel like even when you get in the relationship, you still should be dating your partner. Now, I do agree with the statement that you said. Now that we're in a relationship, now you can take me to McDonald's. Like we can go have a McDonald's date, and you get what I'm saying. It not be an issue, but I do kind of feel like when you're just dating and get to know someone that it doesn't have to be a super high end restaurant, but it should be something of meaning or of thought. Like you put some effort into like saying what we're going to do. Like you know what I mean? It shouldn't just be thrown together. So it could be mixed emotions there for sure.
Okay. Well, I couldn't pull it up, but I'm sure y'all have seen it. I'm sure
Mhm.
y'all have seen it. And if you have, what rock are you hiding under? Because it's obviously been viral. And so it was like I was like, Monique, let's just talk about excuse me, let's just talk about money and dating.
Mhm.
That would be the Happy New Year topic for today. So of course, me being the numbers, we being numbers people, I gotta bring y'all some statistics, okay? And this is gonna be we gonna have fun with this today, okay? And so the question is, should finances and money matter when you're dating? So I found some statistics and it says about a quarter of millennials, and so Monique just let me know I'm considered a millennial. So
Yes.
so excited. I know I shouldn't be excited. So excited. It said about a quarter of millennials have gone into debt to pay for their dating habits. So let me just break that down. About
Hmm.
25% of millennials go into debt just to go dating.
You know why that is?
Why?
I've come to the conclusion that when you're dating, if you're dating multiple people, yeah, you will. I mean, because again, you gotta take this girl. I'm saying it if I was a male, you have four females that you're dating. More than likely, they're going to want you to pay. So now you gotta go out with this girl and whatever standard she got. You gotta go out with this girl and whatever standard she got, and so forth. So if you have your own house, your own car, you got to keep up with your own maintenance, keep yourself together. Now you have to have that extra money set aside for dating, and it can get pretty expensive. That's just my take on why someone will go into debt, because it's like you're out there playing the field, but you really don't have the money to play the field. And that's why I feel like a lot of people jump into relationships because they feel like it's easier to just deal with one person. And then that's when you get into relationships and then that dating stops because now they didn't got you where they wanted you to be. You understand what I'm saying? And
Got him.
I
Got
couldn't get
him.
that person no more.
I get that. I get it. I get it. But going into debt though, that's what we doing.
No,
That's
that
what we
makes sense.
doing now. I mean, I understand you know, you want to go out and you want to date and you want to meet people and just have a good time. But can we at least just make sure we're not going into debt over it though? Can we, ladies, gentlemen, can we at least make sure we're not going into debt over it? Can we be a
Yeah,
little
that's kind of
smarter about
crazy.
our money just so we can enjoy our dates without stressing out over whether that card is going to go through or not? And to add to that statistic, it said 10% of those people have 10% of people have had a credit card decline on a date. Monique, have you ever had a situation where there was a credit card declination? Is that a word?
I've, I've never had that happen. I not that I can remember because I'm similar to you, Jen. Um, I don't date a lot. I tend to have more relationships than dating. So but every time I've ever went out and I'm just thinking back, I've never had that issue. Mm-mm.
And like I,
Or
oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, no.
Finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that probably will lead into the other segue of what we're going to talk about, like, who pays, right? Like, so my grandmother always taught me to have some money in my pocket, regardless if that person is taking me out or not. So even if it was a situation where a card declined, I would still be able to cover, what I needed to cover. That was all I was going to say with that. But no, I've never had that happen. Well, have you had that happen before or no?
Let's go back to point number one. I ain't never been on no real date. Like, what is that? Like, not, I feel like we're having a therapy session right now. Like, what is that? Like, I've never really been on a real date. Is it considered a date if you're in a relationship?
Yes, because you still should be dating your partner if you're in a relationship. A
Okay.
lot of people a lot of people miss that, no, honestly, because it's like in the beginning, it's like we going on trips, we going here, we doing this, we going bowling, we doing that, da, 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 because we're dating. I want to link up with you. I want to see you. And because we're not in a commitment, you have to put your best foot first, right?
That's what you're
But
supposed to
now
do.
that you have me, oh, you can do it whenever you want, but I still want to go bowling. I still want to go get something to eat. I still want to go on trips like that. That's not changing.
I love it, Monique. I've been traumatized.
And
I
so
don't even know.
it doesn't change. It's
I
just
love
that now I'm doing it with you and no one else because we're actually in a relationship together. That's the only difference. But mm-mm.
Yeah, I have married friends that constantly talk about that a certain day that's date night. That's date night. And it's what's the word? It's non-negotiable.
Yes.
That is date night.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you got planned, that better be not planned on that day.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to, if you want to be with me. But to be honest, I must have been I'm a just not air out all my dirty laundry on this show, Monique. I must have had a different experience. Let's just say that. Okay, let's move on with that. All right. Okay. So another statistic um was that there was a question that was asked, would dating be easier if you had more money? So it pretty much surrounded itself around inflation, and how because of inflation the prices of common goods and foods and services that you're used to paying for have increased, and but yet our paychecks, a majority of our paychecks have not increased. And
Mm-hmm.
so that matters when it comes to dating, because dating costs money, like you said.
Yes.
And so the question was, would dating be easier if you just had some more money? So of course, yes, it was 39% that said yes. It was 38% that said maybe, and it was 23% that said no. I'm gonna pray for the no's, because maybe they Just maybe they got problems that had nothing to do with money as to why dating is not easier. But I thought that was interesting as well. And so that makes me wonder when you're on a date, okay, so I've been told, um, is that the first thing you talk about? Like how many dates do you, and I'm talking about, okay, so for those who, dating several people, how many dates with the same person do you go on before you start asking them about what their philosophy is and mentality is around money?
That's tricky, Jen. I mean, that's super, super tricky because you don't finances can be a touchy subject with people, especially if they don't have any money, right? So you don't want to come off as having that conversation. Unless is say it is the person that don't have no money. They don't want to have a conversation anyway because they're broke. I mean, I don't know no other way to say it. But then if it is a person that do have a couple dollars or whatever the case may be, you don't want to seem like that's all you're worried about is money, right? So I'm going to be honest with you. I say give it, I wouldn't put how many dates, I would say a time frame. If we're still dating after about 90 days, it definitely should come up or have came up by then for sure.
90 days.
Yeah.
All right. What y'all think to our viewing audience? What y'all think? 90 days? What's y'all number? I'll put y'all number in the chat. How many times are you dating the same person before y'all have a conversation about money and how they think about money and what you think about money? So 90 days, that sounds good. That sounds decent.
And I also say 90 days because if you're trying to pace yourself, especially if you've just gotten out of a relationship and you're back into the dating world, you're trying to pace yourself and really not trying to jump into anything like right away. It's no pressure. Like it really actually shouldn't matter as much to somebody that is trying to get into a relationship like super fast, right? Because how I want to say it, you're still getting to know the person. You get what I'm saying? And people will show you what they want you to see in the beginning. You get what I'm saying? So let's just say you went on 5 dates. The 5 dates could have happened in 1 month. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
But you still really don't know the person. So it's just kind of like feeling a person out, kind of seeing where the vibe and the energy is, honestly, to see how it can, be brought up into the conversation. But definitely within a 90-day window, it should be talked about because I also feel like if you guys are still dating that person after 90 days, it is some connection, it is some chemistry. It seems like you guys are progressing, forward. And it doesn't take a very, very long time. I mean, it should take some time to know if this is somebody that you potentially want to see yourself with. So at some point, money has to come up, So I say about 90 days.
Cool. Cool. That sounds good to me. So
What you
let's
think?
let's let's think about this. So dating means it spans it spans past just meeting somebody in a place and going out somewhere. What's been kind of all the rise nowadays are these dating apps. And so my question is, would you sacrifice and spend the money on the dating app knowing that you got to spend money on the date too? Or would you try to play your hand and just go out and try to meet somebody? Or
I'm
does
not
that
spending.
matter? Or does that even matter?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I ain't spending no money on no dating apps. It ain't that serious. It ain't never that serious. Like, no, seriously. It ain't never that daggone serious. And
Okay.
I'm actually introverted. I keep saying this, extroverted. I'll rather go outside because it seems like every time I go outside, someone talks to me, whether man or female, and not it could just be about anything random. So I know that it will be easier and more beneficial for me to go outside and meet someone real time. I can touch, feel, smell you, like you see you, like, I'm not saying that when I was a teenager, I didn't used to get on them little dating apps, like, or dating chat lines and all of that stuff. I've met several people off that, but that's just not something I would do today. Not at all.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
I
date
definitely
myself.
ain't paying for it.
I'm I'm gonna date myself. Black Planet. Anybody remember Black Planet?
Woo!
Is that what it
Woo!
was called? Is that what it was called? Girl, I don't even know. Like I think I just created a profile. I don't even know if I even
Mm-mm.
participated. I think I just created a profile. I mean, I need help, y'all. I mean, this ain't the point of the show, y'all. But as you can see, my experience in dating is very nominal, it's very small. And so the question lies then, okay, so 90 days, after 90 days, you start talking about finances. But what about people who are in the financial field? What about financial professionals?
You
Do
thinking,
you
Jane?
I'm not, I'm telling you, I'm trying to, I'm trying to help somebody, including myself. All right. And so, what if you're a financial professional and you're going out on a date? Is that the first, do you talk about that on the first date? Because you have to understand when you're a financial professional like us, we don't just do this for a living. We live it. We live it. We breathe it. It's, something that we're passionate about. So, but you going on a first date or you going on a date with somebody you don't really know, it's not 90 days, and you just start going off like, what's your credit score? What's your debt to income ratio? How many credit cards do you have? That turns people off. And you want to get to know them. So, how do you navigate that as a financial professional and you're trying to date? Do people really take, I don't know if the word is seriously, but do people really give you the opportunity to get to know them, especially if they already know that you are all about money? And that you're all about finances and you're really really sharp with it. Like how do you navigate that? Because you
I
want
can
how do you
I
do
can
it?
honestly say, Jen, um, it has definitely been good and bad. More bad for me, to be honest with you, with being a financial professional in dating, because a couple things happen. Either soon as you talk about it, person see dollar signs, like, you get what I'm saying, like you got all this money, you know what I mean? Or um like you said, you're dating a person that don't have all of their stuff together, so it could be a win where they feel like, oh, well, she can help me out. You know what I mean? But then the bad experiences I've had, honestly, Jen, is talking too much too soon and people feeling like they can use me. I'm gonna be black and white and honest with you. So I absolutely think it's a bad idea. And no, you're not trying to lie to the person that you're dating because you want them to get to know you, but you want them to get to know you, not the money. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like people see dollar signs when they hear that you're a financial professional or financial coach. Like, I don't know. That's just my experience. I haven't had too many good experiences with letting people know what I do for a living.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really on terms with you with that, or from a relationship perspective, you know, um having experience where because they know that you're good with money, they use that as an opportunity to not be good with money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it offers for a very, very unstable relationship because it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to, and I don't care what nobody say, if the money ain't right, if y'all are not communicating with each other about it, it's going to create a wedge in the relationship and it's
Yep.
going to create friction and it's not fun, and so I just I think it's important, but probably not on the first date. Not on
Nope.
the first date. If I know that I have a future, if I know that I see a future with you and I want to take that next step to make something a little more permanent,
Yeah.
then I'll be upfront with you and let you know, hey, we need to have a conversation because of course, if we're in mutual agreement that the
Mhm.
relationship is going to a different level,
Yeah.
we need to talk about where we need to talk about our stances and how we feel, not just about raising kids and what we believe in and what our morals and values are, but also how we handle money. Because you
And
can be,
that
go ahead.
brings out a good point that I just thought about in my head, Jen. As a tax professional, I see it a lot. You know, couples don't want to file their taxes with each other because their spouse owes somebody. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and I understand this is a fine line, it's a thin line. You don't, y'all, when you want to be married to this person, but you don't want to take on their debt, right? I mean, most people don't want to take on other people's responsibility. I get that. But so that wasn't something that was talked about. That's not something that y'all wanted to fix prior, or is that even something you care about? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Because now that y'all bound together, you guys really are supposed to be filing taxes together. You get what I'm saying? But I just hear so many crazy stories about why people don't. And it's just like, me personally, I'm not saying that I wouldn't get married to somebody if they had some situations, but I want to be able to say, is this situation going to take us out at some point? How you get what I'm saying? If we don't get it corrected on the front end.
Child, I done had a couple of situations that I thought was going to take us out because there wasn't clear communication
Mhm. Mhm.
between me and the other person. And, it was not fun. It was
Mhm.
not fun. And so I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. So going back to the question, does money and finances matter when you're dating? Of course. Of course, because eventually, um, you want, well, okay, I'm not prejudging anybody. I'm not making assumptions because I was going to say, because at some point, you're going to want to evolve into being in a relationship, but maybe you're not. Maybe you enjoy dating and you don't enjoy being in a relationship, and that's your prerogative, and that's completely okay.
Yeah.
But for those who desire to be in a relationship, that financial part is very important. Like, I thought about it as we were thinking about certain topics, certain things we want to discuss today. It's like my question should be is should financial should there be a financial education or a financial counseling session intertwined with premarital counseling?
Ooh.
Because to be honest, I know when I went through premarital counseling, we may have talked about money, but it wasn't in as deep as this is what your finances are, this is how much debt you have, this is how much debt you have, how y'all gonna handle it, what y'all gonna do. Like I feel like those types of conversations need to be had if you want to spend the rest of your life with this person, then I think that needs to be had. I think that should be a required part of getting a marital license
Yeah,
to
I
be
agree.
married. Like I think the as part of premarital counseling, you should have to go to some kind of financial coach, go to some kind of financial counselor. I'm not saying the person doing the premarital counseling has to do it, but I'm just saying I feel like it should be required because
Yeah.
you hear so many stories from couples that are still successfully married and from people who are not. And at some point during the conversation, money comes up. Money comes up, and not knowing how to handle it, or having one person purposely hide their financial issues from you, because either they're ashamed or either they know that if you find out, you won't want to be in a relationship with them. It's just, I just feel like it's necessary, just like we want to go through all of this to make sure you're the right person, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, belief wise. We should also make sure that you're the right person financially, because telling you, it makes a difference, and it starts with dating. Now I feel like there's some questions you can ask, or maybe not. Y'all, viewing audience, y'all let me know if these are not questions you would ask on a date. Because, like I said, I have not, dated in a while. But you could ask some questions like, I don't know.
I
I don't
mean, I mean the basic questions or kind of like no brainers. And I'm not saying that everybody that has a car or have their own place and look nice don't mean that they don't have that. But they can be like the surface questions, like you, and then again, that's not even a question about the driving. Obviously, if y'all went on a date together, that person probably drove there, right? But do you live alone? That's just a surface question. Like you would that nobody would think anything of that by you asking that, like, you know what I mean? Or um not necessarily where do you work, or maybe along the lines of, well, what do you do in your spare time? People start just yapping anyway half the time. You know what I mean? So um I think starting off with some type of some surface questions or whatever, and then you'll kind of get your answer half the time, without really asking. You know what I'm trying to say? Like going head first, like you said, well, how many credit cards you got, or you got any student loans? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, um, but yeah, or do you got any repos? Let me know. I ain't gonna go on that tangent. I'm
Oh my.
sorry.
So let me say, because long gone, in my personal opinion, this is Jennifer Johnson. That's the name on there. It's my personal opinion. No, don't speak for anybody else. I feel like long gone are the days that you going on a date with somebody, or that you giving somebody the time of day just because they got a nice car
Uh-huh.
and a job.
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of people with nice cars and jobs that is suffering
Yes.
every month
Yes.
because they can barely make rent. They can barely pay the gas and electric, barely pay the car note, let alone
Yeah.
car insurance. So I feel like long gone are those days where that's a way that you can determine whether or not you would even give somebody the time of day. Because I remember back in the day that was a big thing. Like, you got a nice car, you could probably get a date. If you had a decent job and you went there every day and you actually were working, you could definitely get a date. But that don't have no representation on how you handle money, boo boo.
No.
People can front and fake real hard, and
Hmm.
behind the scenes, they barely keeping it together. Like, they next paycheck is already gone because their account is already negative. Like, it's real out here. So I get it. You can't ask them what their credit score, their debt to income ratio is on the first date. They probably won't even know what you're talking about. But at some point, we got to get to it because I don't want to put my emotions into you. I don't want to put my feelings into you. And then I feel like, and then I realize you don't know how to handle money because then I'm going to have to break up with you in my heart and my mind. And it's not going to be pretty because I didn't already, we already in a relationship. You know, ain't that how you supposed to date? You already in a relationship with the person? No, not really. Not you got to date. You got to see. I told
All
y'all.
right,
I need some help, y'all. I
all
need some
right. So
help. I know
what
we
do
gems
you?
the money.
So could you tell on a date if a person has money or not if they decide to pay? So that leads us to who should pay on the date? The person that asks to go on the date or the other person? Or do y'all go Dutch as what Jen said? Or do one person pay and the other person offer the tip? Like how does that go? Like how does that go? Because I definitely don't know how that go because again, like I said, I have my own money regardless when I go out, just in case something just goes south. So while even if you ask me to go on a date, in my mind, I'm still not expecting you to pay. I don't know. That's just my mindset. So what would you say, Jen?
Well, I'll piecemeal this. Because see, I'm not trying to put my business out there on the streets. Okay, so I'm gonna use general situations. Um, I've had experiences where the guy just wanted to pay and he paid. It wasn't the option of, oh, well, how you want to do this? No,
Exactly.
you got the check. He was like, okay, give me this. And that was it. You didn't even
Yeah.
have the opportunity to say, hey, let me get, oh, okay. And then you sit back and be like, oh, okay, because I don't know nobody that if somebody gonna pay willfully pay for your date, you just gonna be like, no,
Right.
let me get that. Let me get you. Let me help you out some. No, no, you gonna sit back and be like, oh, okay, I can save this $20 and go get me a breakfast tomorrow, something, Starbucks. You know, but in other instances, I've heard stories about people who have been in relationships where the female has been the breadwinner, so the female pays and they're okay with it.
Mhm.
So me personally, I don't even know, girl. Like I feel like it would depend on the person, it would depend on the vibe. Like I've heard stories about people getting stood up, like
Mhm.
people going to dates, eating, and the guy get up and go to the bathroom and don't come back.
What? That's still happening? That's a thing?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't know how old the story was. But I mean, I've heard stories about that. Me personally, if you want my Jen's personal opinion, you got it depends on the person. You know, I'm a big girl. I'm a woman. I'm independent. I have a job. I know how to I pay my bills. I know how to conduct myself. So if we need to go Dutch, we can go Dutch. Ain't no feelings about it. If you want
Mhm.
to pay for it, fine. Now, if you want me to pay for it and you ask me out on a date, then that's where
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's your debt to income ratio? Why you can't pay for this meal? You know, that's when that comes out, and I can't help it because something is not adding up. Why do I have to solely pay for the date and I didn't ask myself out? So
So
that's
so I would say two things to that. If you're not in a financial position to date, you should not be dating. And I'm saying this loud and clear for the people always over. Yeah. If you are not in a financial position to date, you should not be dating because it does cost no matter what. Exactly what Jen said. It might be a situation where the person don't mind going half. It might be a situation where that person only wants you to pay the tip. You don't know what's gonna happen until you get there. Like, you know what I mean? So that leads back to originally what we said earlier in the live. It's like people going into debt with dating, but it also should be, you should have money set aside if you know you're dating. Like, it just is what it is. Whether you're dating one person, two people, however, it doesn't matter. If you're not in a financial position to date, you should not be dating.
But
You just
Monique, I read you the stat. It said
Mhm.
25% of millennials go into debt just to go dating. I tell you this, if you're a serial dater, if you like to go on dates, if you like dating people, you know, nothing wrong with it. Put it as a line item in your budget. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
There's nothing
that is
wrong with
true.
that. Like, under leisure, it would be under leisure. You would put dating, and you would put $100 if you want to go on one date site. I mean, I don't know how
Right.
much it costs, but just put it in your budget. If
Yeah.
you know that's what you want to do, and then you like going out to eat, and even not just so much dating. I know that's what we're talking about, but even if you're going to hanging out with your girlfriends,
Yeah.
and y'all go out and y'all go out for brunch every Sunday, or y'all go out for drinks every Friday night. Put it in your budget. Put it in your budget. Don't be that girl that's sitting here nervous because she don't know how she gonna pay for this meal. So she's nickel and diming every single item. Trust
Yeah.
me. I know I've made that mistake years ago. Like, I've made that mistake. Don't be that person. Trust me. And nobody knows but you that you don't
Yeah.
have it. They don't know,
Yeah.
and but it just causes a lot of stress, and it causes a lot of embarrassment more
Yeah.
so than anything. But put it in your budget. Put it in your budget. And if you don't have enough, then maybe you don't need to go to Starbucks every morning. If you
Right.
know you're gonna go to brunch every Sunday, maybe you
Right.
maybe you brew your own coffee at home. Maybe you
Yeah.
buy the creamer and you make your own coffee in a hot to go cup and take it to work if you have to go into the office. If going to brunch with your girlfriends is that important to you, don't go into debt. Don't go into debt over that. I mean, I'm not a fan of debt, period, but definitely do not go into debt hanging out with nobody. I just don't agree with it. I just don't think it makes sense. There's other things you can cut. And like Monique said, if you can't cut anything, then maybe you should chill out
Chill
until
out
you
for
can. There's no reason to to be doing all of this off of what? Off of just being out in the streets. Like, you would rather be stressed out so you can go out in the streets and you can party and you can
I
date, hang out.
I remember I do remember a scenario. Oh wow. Where I went out on a date with this guy, and he asked me where we were going to go down, so we just picked a place and having drinks, having food, and he paid, and that was all good. The next day, I get a text message about how the place double charged him for something or extra charged him for something. So I'm looking at the text messages like, okay, just dispute it or wait till they finalize the check or whatever. He went on for hours about, well, they charged my card twice or overcharged me. And it should have been a red flag then. It should have been a red flag then, but it wasn't. Like, if you're really, like you said, going berserk or crazy about them charging you an extra couple dollars or charging you the wrong amount, then you just shouldn't have went on a date. You just shouldn't have. But that should have just been, or not say you shouldn't have went on a date. It should have just been a red flag to me that you ain't really got it like that. Because even if they made an error or they overcharge you for something, you should not be on my phone texting me for hours about an extra 10, $15, or maybe even 20. I'm gonna just say $20 that they, overcharge you or whatever the case may be. And like I said, that just should have been a cue and a red flag right then and there that either you don't really have money or you don't really know how to budget your money or you just really didn't prepare for this date. And it was just crazy. But that was just an experience that I just triggered back to me in my memory bank. Like, if we don't really have the finances to do, we just should not do. That's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've been talking about this for almost an hour. I can't believe it.
We knew it was gonna be spicy and juicy today.
Oh
We
my
knew
gosh.
it was gonna be juicy.
Y'all not about to catch me. Okay, because I haven't been in that many relationships. So it ain't hard to do process of elimination when I start talking about specifics. So I want to be professional. This ain't world star. So
Yeah, we ain't put nobody out there like
we ain't
that,
putting
but
nobody out. We ain't putting nobody out there. But guess what? At the end of the day, this just proves that no matter where you are
yeah,
in your philosophy, in your thinking, and your mentality about money and finance and dating, as long as you're living and breathing, you have an opportunity to maybe make some tweaks.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have an opportunity to change it. Like I know we're cutting up and we're laughing and we're joking and we're telling stories and we're having a great time. But at the end of the day, we care about your financial future. We care about your financial house. And we want that house to be intact. We want that house to be stable and sturdy so that when a financial storm comes along, you won't be blown away by the wind. So just make a couple of tweaks. If you don't know how to do it, ask somebody. Ask somebody who does know. Ask a professional. We talk to people on a regular basis about just everyday life, and you'd be so surprised how much money is intertwined in everyday things that
Mhm.
you don't think about. And when you plan ahead and you budget accordingly and you just have a good attitude and mindset about money, like it can make a world of difference just in your everyday life. So we're on here just to say, go out, have fun, have a ball, but be smart about it. Be smart about it, y'all. Like the Black wealth gap is expanding, and we're with our current habits and how we deal with our finances, we're trending towards not having any wealth at all in the coming years. And so it's time to get serious, and Martin Luther King Jr., he believed in equality. He believed in doing it in a nonviolent manner, even though, people didn't agree with him. But he believed in equal rights. And he stood for what he believed in. And he, despite going against the grain, he stood for the change that he wanted to see. And so with that same theme, like in your finances, if your mama or your daddy or your grandma or whoever raised you didn't teach you how to really budget, or just gave you the mentality that as long as I can make the monthly payments, the debt is okay, and it taught you really how to live a life of being in debt instead of progressing towards being not in debt and having the ability to use your money the way you see fit, it's okay. It's okay. We've all been there. We as a people weren't always taught
Mhm.
and weren't always advocated for being in good financial positions, for being able to achieve financial wealth. So we all understand nobody's on a pedestal. All you need to do is come to yourself and understand that I need some help, and then seek out the help and actually stick with it and actually do it. Okay? Like we on here because we love y'all. That's why we do this every Monday, and I'm not going to tell y'all the things that happen behind the scenes just to get
Yeah.
up here
Yeah.
and and share the information with
Yeah.
you all every single Monday evening at 7 p.m. So, just take the time and just get your stuff together if it needs to get together. And if you got it together, great. Keep doing it. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You got anything you want to say, Monique, as we wrap up?
Um, I just think that this was a good topic to start with for our 2024 session, for real, to be honest, because as we go into every year, we always have New Year's resolutions or things that we want to do differently. And a lot of times, funny enough, we don't think about it. Dating is one of them things that we start over with in the new year sometimes. So um, just like Jen said, attacking it early because we all have money goals in the beginning of the year as well. So while you're transitioning into the new year and setting new goals for yourself, definitely sit down with a professional to, just do a financial needs analysis to kind of see where you are, where you were at last year, what you could do differently. Do you plan on switching jobs this year? Or you just do want to set up an emergency fund for dating, right? You can do that as well. You can very well open up a little small emergency account for, emergencies, trips, like anything, you know what I mean? But we definitely gotta get more serious and more focused about our finances in the years to come because like you said, everything with inflation, everything's just going up. Like, we don't really want to believe that we need money for every single thing, but we really do. Every way you turn, I went to the dentist just for a simple cleaning and walked out of there paying $600, Jen. Like, I was so beyond myself, beside myself. I was so mad. Like, what do you mean I need to come back for this and that? And I was stressed out.
It's okay, boo boo. And let's just
Okay. But
go
I'm
ahead.
saying that to say, if and no, I didn't have the money. And when I say no, I didn't have it, of course I had it to pay because I couldn't walk out the dentist without paying it, but I didn't have it. It wasn't in my budget. It wasn't in my plan. But because I do have certain systems in place, I was able to cover that expense and just worry about or figure out how I was going to get the money back on the back end somewhere. You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to encourage you guys to do, just to sit down with a professional, get some systems in place that'll work for you right now and long term. And just make things
Absolutely.
a lot easier.
Absolutely. And guys, we welcome your suggestions if there's any topic that you would like to talk about dealing with money, tax, and life. If there's an episode of a topic that you want us to go deeper, definitely let us know. You can follow us on our YouTube page. It's titled Gems, the number two, and Money. And that's on YouTube. Definitely subscribe so you can stay abreast of all of our lives and all of our other information that we share there. You can also find me. I'm going live on my personal page right now, but I do have a business page as well, JMJ Services. And Monique, how can we find you?
So I'm on Facebook as Monique Anderson. I'm on Instagram as well. My Instagram is pretty long, but I could drop it in the comment section. Is Mary Van I Tax Prep Services LLC, and then of course on TikTok it's just Monique Anderson again.
Amazing. All right. So I think we done about put a bow on it.
Yes,
So
we did.
yes, we did. We did good. Air high five for the first. Okay. For the for the first episode of 2024. So I'm Jen.
And I'm Monique.
And we are
Gems.
Gems to
Monday.
Money. We got it. We got it. We
We
got
got it.
it.
We got it.
Yes. Thank y'all for watching. We will see
Good
y'all
night.
next week. Bye. See y'all.